Good evening, everyone. Burke Weather Meteorologist Scotty Powell along with Chief Meteorologist Chris White. This is a video update provided to you by Crossroads Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury on Jamestown Road. We're going to give you an idea of what's going to happen next week. But before that happens, Chris, we have a cold and windy weekend in store.
Yeah, very cold, very windy. And as you see on the screen already put up there, this is wind gusts and winds that we're going to see Saturday afternoon through Sunday morning. In fact, the high wind watch is already in effect for the mountain areas of Northwest, Burke, Caldwell, McDowell, and all the high country. That goes into effect tomorrow night at 6 p.m. and runs through 9 a.m. Sunday morning. 45 to 60-mile-an-hour winds will be common up over the mountains, and they could actually see a gust higher than that, Scotty.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. We're looking at those wind gusts. It's actually going to start Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, it's going to be extremely windy up there. Some of our latest soundings have showed up to 70-mile-per-hour gusts in the higher peaks, and that's going to present a dangerous wind chill. We'll talk a little bit about that, but even off the mountain here in the greater Burke, Caldwell, McDowell, Cleveland County, Catawba counties, we're still going to see winds in the 30 to 45-mile-per-hour range with gusts up to 55 miles per hour.
That's right, Scotty. And even if you move out of the Piedmont and down east in North Carolina, down south of the upstate of South Carolina, 30 to 45-mile-an-hour winds and gusts up to 55. Really, with the cold air, that's bad enough within itself.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. And we're going to go to the next slide here. And we had a little gusty wind there Thursday, and it presented some power problems. This is going to be a much more sustained wind, about 20 miles per hour, added on to what we saw yesterday. And that's going to present some power problems up in the high country, anywhere between Asheville and Boone, up in Avery County. We're probably going to see a lot of widespread power outages. Those are very likely as we get off the mountain here into the foothills and northwest Piedmont. It's possible we could see some power outages as well.
Yeah, and those power outages, Scotty, can be detrimental to anybody's health, especially the elderly or those that don't have any source of other than electricity for heat. Because the Arctic air is going to be moving in, and those temperatures are going to be bottoming out as we go to the next slide. 15 to 30 degree below zero wind chills up over the mountains, down over the greater portions of Burke and the greater portions of our counties that we cover, -5 to -15 degrees, and that's nothing to sneeze at. You can get frostbite very quick just walking outside with uncovered skin.
That's right. If you're up in the mountains, up in the high country, it's going to take less than 5 minutes to get frostbite from -15 to -30 degree wind chills. Even down here, it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes at most to get that. Also, with these wind chills, we're going to have cold temperatures on Sunday. We don't expect the highs to get out of the mid to upper 20s here in the lower elevations of Burke and Caldwell, McDowell, Catawba, and Cleveland counties. And up in the northwest parts like Jonas Ridge, Collettsville, Globe, Upton, Woodlawn, Chris, we could see temperatures in the upper teens.
Yeah, most of the day Sunday at that. So the sun's going to be out, but the wind's going to be howling, and those Arctic air temperatures are going to be moving in to the area. That's going to continue into Sunday night. The winds will relax, but the cold temperatures return, and that takes us into next week, Scotty.
Yeah, next week going to present a very active weather pattern, as you can see now with this slide. This is for the Monday to Wednesday time frame. Now, there's different models. They've all painted a wintry scene for us. The Euro, the GFS, the NAM, which is a more short-range model. Some are showing a little bit of snow on Monday. All three are showing snow on the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. We're really going to have to watch this.
Yeah, it is too early for accumulations to try to put those out there right now. But as you can see, anywhere from Oklahoma, where we're going to be headed next week, and out to Little Rock, Nashville to Tennessee, and then into North Carolina, a steady swath of snow going to move as this low pressure ejects from the Baja Peninsula, and cold high pressure going to pull in, and these two jet streams likely phase together and create a heck of a storm on the northeast, and the poor people in Boston again even could see another blizzard from this thing.
That's right. This is nothing to take lightly here in the North Carolina, upstate of South Carolina. We're probably going to see some snow, and it's going to accumulate. Again, we're not going to speculate on amounts just yet, but we are going to see some accumulating snow. portions of the Midlands of South Carolina towards Columbia over to Augusta, Georgia. You're going to see an icy mix of some freezing rain, sleet, maybe in a few snow flurries as well. But Chris, this is a very active pattern, like we talked about. We'll slide on to the next slide. We're going to talk to you a little bit about this. Now, this is just model guidance. This is no accumulation. Disregard the accumulations on the side right now. But this shows us that it's an active pattern. We have a storm potentially on Monday coming in around midday. Then we're going to get a little bit of break, and then we're going to see another one on Tuesday.
That's right, Scotty, the models are outlining that well. Now this is the NEM model in the red, and that model is a near-term model, and it don't quite go out far enough to catch the Tuesday storm yet, so that's why it drops off here. But you could see our long-range model, several of the ensemble members even showing that snow potential ramping up for the Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. Again, pay no attention to the accumulations because it'll take till Sunday for us to get those nailed down. But know that this could be a significant weather event. And there could be a time during the week it would be hard to travel, especially if snow does fall heavy at some point on Tuesday.
That's right, Chris. And he was talking about the ensembles. It's a fancy term. It's all these different model runs coming in and presents us on a graph. There's 51 on the Euro, and all 51 of those ensembles were producing at least 1 to 2 inches of snow and more. So it's looking likely we're going to see some snow. I know a lot of people have been wanting it. Another thing we can point out, Chris can point it out with the cursor, we could even see another potential smaller storm affect us in the Thursday time frame.
Yeah, you can see the models just kind of bump here up and hinting at the chance of another winter event there on Thursday as well. So it's going to be an active week. We want you to be prepared. Be sure you have the emergency kits available. First off, starting Saturday night going into Sunday with the power outages. Then we start moving towards the work week. Monday and Tuesday, we'll start watching these systems. We'll watch this one and see how well it comes together. This has kind of come in on the backside as the system split a little bit. But both of these have our attention, and we are feeling really confident now that we're finally going to have our first snow of the season here across the foothills.
Yeah, the Monday event kind of snuck up on us today. Is just now picking up on that. The Tuesday to Wednesday event, that is what we have been watching throughout the week last week. And then Thursday, another thing we haven't really talked on, and we're going to kind of close this video up as we're approaching 8 minutes. We're going to see some very cold temperatures next week. We don't have that graphic up. Kind of getting late and we're wanting to get home, but those temperatures are going to be extremely cold next week.
Yeah, the temperatures don't warm up, and it could be Friday before we reach back to the freezing mark in some areas. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, so whatever snow falls, it's going to be sticking around for a few days for you to enjoy. So that's it. It's been a busy day for us. We've been out doing some school visits, doing a lot of stuff for our Oklahoma trip. So we're going to head to the house. But listen, stay tuned to burkeweather.org, our Facebook page as well. Our website, we've been really updating it. A lot of you have been watching that website, and we appreciate that. Also, if you're on Catawba County weather, view that. Cleveland County weather, McDowell weather, and Caldwell weather, they'll all be updated throughout the weekend. We're going to have a meeting of the minds, we like to say, on Sunday night to come together and put a lot of definites on what's going to happen. So be looking for that. Again, be mindful of the winds and the cold temperatures this weekend. It's going to be a snowy week potentially. It's going to be a cold week potentially. And I think after this coming week, we're going to all be ready for winter to make its exit.
Yeah, I agree. So for Burke Weather, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris White, along with Meteorologist Scotty Powell.
Have a great weekend.